Okay, pedal to the metal. 2, 3, go! Hello everyone, this is Sam Car Legion. Welcome back to another video. For today's video, we're going to compare two of my favorite luxury three-row SUVs. The 2020 Genesis GV80, the first Genesis SUV. It is quite impressive. It is very competitive. And we're going to find out if it's any good. And that's why I brought in the Lincoln Aviator. Now, we don't have the plug-in hybrid. We have the option to purchase a plug-in hybrid that makes over 500 horsepower. A beast. I've reviewed that. I've also compared the Genesis to the Audi Q7. If you want to watch that video, the link will be in the description box. But for today, we're going to compare these two. How do they compare in terms of pricing? But most importantly, how do they compare in terms of driving dynamics, whether one is faster, comfortable, and so on. The comparison today will start from the third row into the second and then the driver's side. I'll show you exactly what they offer, how they compare in terms of space, comfort level, and so on. And then we're going to talk about which one is the best out of these two. And of course, as usually, we're going to do our cabin noise test around the city area to see which one is actually quieter inside, because Genesis says that the Genesis GV80 is supposed to be very, very quiet. Now, let's start first with the third row. Okay, so we're starting from the back side in the third row. I'm sitting right into the third row. Now, I can't push this seat all the way to here because it's a bit, well, it's not the most comfortable place to be in third row for someone my height. It's kind of tight as well. So let me show you what do we have in the back. Well, we have cup holders in there, the air vents as well, and then a beautiful view of the front area. You can see a little bit the screen, a little bit the details. Let me just zoom it in for you for a second. Now this is what I see from where I'm sitting right now. So you can see a bit the screen, you can see the map and so on, and beautiful visibility all the way through. Just this seat in here, I can't push it back because then I won't be able to actually sit properly, so it's very tight for me. So I'm in the Genesis into the third row. It looks pretty comfortable, as you can see. Just my head is just touching a little bit the roof, but overall it's still comfortable. And in terms of space in here, well, there is not much. I had to push the seat in front of me further because otherwise my legs wouldn't fit. But what I love about the Genesis in here is that it has quite a lot of interesting features. So for example, the cup holder in here, it's pretty cute. And you have an armrest in here to put your phone or maybe some chocolate. And then we have the recliner here for the seat. You can push this back and forth so that way you can adjust it. So you have technically power seats for the third row. That's quite impressive. And you can see on that side. In the Genesis for the third row, you get the buttons in here as well to fold them in the second row in case if you want to have more space to put the seats in front of you. You can do it straight from the back. It's very similar to you find in the Lincoln. The only difference in the Lincoln, because of the air suspension system, you can lower the vehicle at the back. And then we have this little window in here. In terms of visibility in the back, I find the Lincoln to be slightly better. Now, the seat in front of you can be folded automatically. You have this button over here, and it will fold all the way through. We have the same thing for that. You press it, and it will fold. Now, the car is moving, but you can't do it at this point. It also has panoramic roof, but it is split in half. You only get one in the back and one in the front. So they've kind of like split them so that each side gets their own special treatment. So into the second row, lots of space in here. Just the seat in front of you cannot be moved from behind. You have to jump in front. You have to ask the driver actually to do so. Now in here we have the climate unit, which it is touchscreen. We have heated seats and ventilated seats in the back for both sides. and then of course the climate unit as well. And you have the audio system in here too. You can change the audio from here. And you have the climate unit for both sides. The second row, you can turn it off and turn it around. And we have the third row climate unit. So you have two options to navigate from here. Now that is quite impressive. And then the fan speed and so on. So it is touchscreen. We have a bunch of other settings. You can turn off the display, which is the display in here, or a calm screen and show you this airplane style, and you can change the brightness. So it's very interactive, very good quality as well, very intuitive. I like that. We have USB ports at the bottom and also the actual 150 volts charging right in there. So you get the basic stuff. Now onto the side in here, we have all the control units for of course the window and then the door. This doesn't have a power sunshade. It is manually adjustable, unlike the Genesis, which does offer that. And then of course the speakers as well. This is powered by Revel Audio 3D, which is amazing quality out of this compared to the Genesis. Now the other thing we have in the center is of course for the sunshade at the top. You can close it from here, and I'm going to do so because it's very bright, and you have the option here to open it and close it completely. And then we have two cup holders in the center, and then an armrest here with more space since it is equipped with captain chairs inside. Now in terms of the view from here, you can see pretty much clearly the actual infotainment system, the driver as well, nice and comfortable, and the rest of it. So you have a beautiful view all the way across. In terms of space, it's nice and comfortable. I wouldn't say that you can stretch your legs completely with this position, but you get some space in here. Now into the second row for the Genesis, it's nice and comfortable, very spacious, a lot of leg room. Now what I love about this is the fact that from the second row you can adjust the seat in front of you so you can give yourself more space for the recliner and the whole seat. And look at that. You can push it all the way through. Now you have yourself more space. This is next level comfort for a 3-row SUV. I love this. Every SUV should have this option. Then we have the climate unit in here. We have heated seats and ventilated seats in the back. And it has a dual climate zone. You can control everything through here. And then you have the actual fan speed through this side. So very similar to what the Lincoln offers. The extra things that you get in here, it's mostly on this side. So it has the actual sunshade, but they're powered. So you don't have to work too hard for you. There we go. And then you can open it as well. That is quite impressive. Now, what we're missing in the back is actually buttons for this, the sunroof. You can't control it from here compared to the Lincoln Aviator. You can only use the climate units. You have to ask the driver in order to actually close both sides. But what they have added in here, which is pretty cool, visors. So you get the visors here with the light. You get one more onto that side. So I've thought about everyone to best make it as comfortable as possible for everyone. In terms of the view, as you can see, beautiful, easy. That screen is huge. You can see it. So let me show you how I actually see it from here. This is how much you get in terms of visibility in the front. You can see the screen very well. You can see the map. You can see the driver in front of you. Visibility is fantastic all the way through. Very spacious inside. Into the Lincoln Aviator. Let's start talking about this first. One thing you need to know about the Lincoln Aviator is that it is quite impressive in terms of comfort. And I'll start first with the seats. You see, they both have power seats. The Lincoln Aviator is going to be further than that. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. This has, like the Mercedes, if you've ever been inside a Mercedes like the S-Class, the E-Class, the panel for the seats is actually located in here. It has over 30 ways that you can adjust your seat. Yeah, that's pretty insane. And you also get massage seats in the front, which are quite impressive. Now, this is for the headrest. You can adjust the headrest. You can push it forward. You can push it backward. It's quite impressive. This is for this part here. You have this little button in there, and then you press that. It's so insane. They have made everything possible. Then you have for the leg extension, so we have two sides, one for the left and then one for the right side. And of course, for the seater and the recliner, you can adjust that as well. I mean, they have gone above and beyond to make this as comfortable as possible. And on top of that, in here, once you press that button on the side, we have massage seat. You can change whichever way you want, relax, recovery, full recovery, and then the rest of them. So you have tons of options, and for the passenger as well. I love that kind of system. The other thing is that you have a full 360 camera, very similar to the Genesis. So as you can see the vehicle around it. You have the option to basically change some of the settings in here. You can change front, back, full view. Clarity is impressive as well. You can see very well a lot of features, and then we have a lot of other settings. You can zoom in and zoom out. Like, that's quite impressive. In here, we also have a driver assistant package with this button on the side, and then we have a park assist as well. So with park assist, what it will do, once it finds a spot, you activate the park assist, it will detect an empty spot, and it will help you to park the vehicle. So it has quite a lot of features, but not necessarily with gas and the actual brake. It's mostly with the steering, so that you can find the perfect spot for it. So it's very, very helpful. Now, let's talk about driving this thing. The steering column, you can adjust it. Of course, it is automatic to your position. We have a beautiful heads-up display, digital cluster as well. Not a lot of features in there, but it will do the job just fine. The actual steering itself, we have beautiful leather. It has pedal shifters in here. Now, what I love about this is that right now, there are actually icons through this area of the steering wheel, but you can't see them because in order for them to appear, you have to turn on the cruise control and then bang. That is impressive. It's quite smart, and I love that. The little details here and there that matter a lot. What I love about the Lincoln is mostly the design of the interior. They have made this as luxurious as possible. Now, some people might not like a lot of chrome around this area because this car has quite a lot. We have the air vents, we have this area here, not the biggest fan, and then we have more chrome in here, and then the climate unit. You can control the rear climate unit from here, and of course the front area, and then we have the rest of it in this side. In this area, we also have the driving modes. You can change the different driving modes. But what they have done, instead of making it boring for you, they've used different terminologies to make it exciting. So if you look into the cluster, it will show you. So we have from deep conditions, which is for snow and so on. And then we have the rest of it for slippery. And then we have for normal. Then conserve. Conserve is basically eco mode. And then excite if you want to have some fun. Just made it interesting, unlike other vehicles where it's a sports, normal, and blah, blah, blah. They've got to be further than that. I like little details like that. It's important in a luxury vehicle. That's why you pay premium, to enjoy that kind of entertainment. Now, what I love about the Lincoln as well is the air suspension system. You see, the air suspension system in this vehicle uses the technology through the cameras that reads the road and can detect imperfections on the road 500 times per second. That way, it will adjust the actual level of the car so that it doesn't hit hard on the road. That way, you don't feel the vibration off the road. It can predict that. That is quite impressive. And I must say, out of the two, I've driven both of them, I think the Lincoln Aviator is so much more comfortable. It's a smooth ride. It's very soft. And it becomes stiff when you put it into excite mode. But most important is the technology that is involved to make sure that you get the best ride quality. Now we're going to do the cabin noise. So first, let's put it in normal mode because the engine revs pretty high. And turn on our little gadget and let's find out at 60 kilometers an hour. So we got 60.6 dB at 60 kilometers an hour. Okay, this is shocking. This is so shocking. 57.7. That is a huge difference. And you know, when I sat inside at first, I jumped from that to this. I noticed that. I'm like, this thing is so much quiet inside. 57.7 for the Genesis. This thing it's still really impressive. It's shocking me every time. I'm falling for this thing. I'm falling for this thing pretty bad because it's, you know, it just feels nice inside too. It drives nicely. It feels so comfortable too. And the massage seats, you're getting the same exact technology as you get in the Lincoln. This uses similar technology to the Lincoln. The only difference, it doesn't have air rides the same way. It has adaptive suspension system, which uses the camera in the front the same way and reads the road 100 times per second. So that way it can project exactly what the suspension should be aware of when you go over that. And we'll do it up to like almost 17 to 18 meters away from the car. So that way it's ready for potholes or anything like that, and it doesn't absorb a really hard hit on the chassis, and that way eliminates the vibration on the car and gives you a very comfortable ride. I like how this thing works and handles on the road. It's very, very competitive. I mean, the technology you get in here, I'm shocked to say this because the Lincoln Aviator was my favorite, but I actually like this over the Aviator. I like how it looks, how bold it is, and how it drives too. The engine is very responsive. It's not as fast as the Lincoln as we saw, and you don't get a hybrid. But I actually like this overall, even though it's not as fast. I don't care about that as much. I don't care about the hybrid option. I'm not into hybrid cars. I don't think I need a hybrid personally, but if you are into that, then Lincoln will provide you that. But I think this is very competitive. You can't deny that to Genesis. They've made an amazing vehicle. This model can easily drive, can easily compete with the Germans, and it competes very well with the Lincoln Aviator. It's very comfortable inside. It is very spacious, except the third row, as I mentioned, doesn't give you the same space as you get in the Lincoln. That is very important. You get technology in the Lincoln, you get the power, you also get some luxury, and at the same time you also get more space compared to this. So that's something to keep in mind. And I will say this now to end this video. I think the Genesis GV80 is far better car for what it offers, except the space and the power delivery in the hybrid. Everything else, it does as well as the Lincoln, and better actually in some cases. And there's a guy filming me while I'm driving this thing. That's how impressive this car is. He's filming me, he's driving and filming this car because he loves it. I love it. I love attention. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.